Hello. This is March 1st, monthly live bookkeeping accounting call. So if you are here, just go ahead and mute me and get your bookkeeping done unless you have a question. And then I'm happy to answer the questions. Let me see, the link. And if anybody wants to join me on the stream, on camera, you're welcome to. Hi, Dana. Hi, Kimmery. Rachel, welcome. So glad you guys are here. So yeah, if anybody wants to join me, feel free to click the link, come on camera. We can chat. If not, that's fine. Get your bookkeeping done. And that's what I'm here for, just to make sure that help you stay accountable to yourself so that every month your bookkeeping is done. You have a fresh start each month to just a clean slate, just to move on and do the things that you are best at. Dawn. Hi, Dawn.
Hello.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
There. Thank you.
So for those of us that are in the Reseller Nirvana group, we have an hour before the clothing call starts and we can go cause trouble. For those of you that don't know, most of us that are currently here, or many of us that are currently here, the ones that I know of that are here. Hi, Nancy. Welcome.
Hey.
Nancy's getting her stuff done everywhere she goes.
Thanks.
So for those of you that are not part of the group, today is we have a clothing call today. We have a jewelry and or accounting call. Jewelry and or antique call today. And those start in about an hour. They follow each other. So I am perfectly fine for those of you that are in the group. If you ditch at 1 o'clock Eastern and go jump in the clothing call, if you are not part of the group, then feel free to reach out and we can let you all know about it. So that being said, does anyone have any questions I can answer to help you guys get started on your bookkeeping for the month? And if not, then I'll just find something to chat about while you guys get your stuff done. I did mine this morning, so I'm good. Rachel, welcome. Oh, look, we've got a bunch of people showed up in the chat all of a sudden, like reselling into retirement. Welcome. Tom Papa. Hey now. The KV Company. Angela Crane. Welcome. Bobby loves to thrift. So don't we all. I'm actually sworn off on making any purchases for a while. I have to get through the stuff that I have. Dana says, I'm a newbie, just purchased your workbook and I watched January's live. In the video, your average cost of goods calculator page has grand total columns and my workbook does not have those columns. Okay, Dana, let me pop that up on my screen right quick. What I did was I actually took those columns out because they were not calculating properly. Okay. They were not calculating properly. The average was off. It was doing a weighted average and it didn't need to be doing a weighted average. And I couldn't figure out how to make it just do regular. So what it is there is a at the very top, and I'll just show it to you. At the very top of the screen, it shows the total. It shows the total total number of items purchased, the total cost of inventory, and the average at that point. So let me present, share screen, window. Okay. All right. So up here, this is where the total number of items purchased, the total cost of inventory, and this is where the average will calculate. So for example, if we put in 50 items at $500, you see at the top, it gives you the $10. If we add another 100 items for $100, then it's changed our average up here. We've got all of our totals and all of our average. And just doing a running average on the eBay number tracking tab is fine. It's just a way to help you guide what you're doing in your business. So it's just a tool. I hope that helps, Dana. And anybody else, if you need this updated because you have the very first one that I put out this year, then you can either reach out to me or you can just go grab the new one from Gumroad. Reselling into retirement says, I'm trying to open this up. I keep opening 2 windows.
That's me.
Oh, that's you, Nancy.
Yeah. It's my incognito name.
All right. So, well, you got it now though, right?
I got it now. Thanks.
Okay. The KV company, that's Fino. For those of you in the group, you know him as Fino. Mandy Honing says, hit the like button. Thank you, Mandy. I appreciate you. Cindy's in the call now too. I didn't get a chance. I was talking when she popped in. So welcome, Cindy. Glad to have you. All right. So any of you guys that are in here, do you have any questions or?
I have questions. Per usual.
I have questions.
I hope you have answers.
If not, I will find them.
So the separate banking saga continues. So I had set up a separate account to use just for my business, as trying to do best practices and everything. I called my bank and I talked to customer service, and unfortunately they misguided me a little bit, and I accidentally opened a savings account instead of an additional checking account.
Okay.
So currently I have all of my income from the platforms going into that account, and then I'm taking out the excess and moving it to personal account, but leaving like a small balance in there for, purchases, inventory, whatever, etc. The problem is I can't actually pay for anything through that account because it's a savings account. So I need to close. Well, I'm not going to close it. I'm actually going to, because it's got a way better rate than my old savings account. So I'm going to just move my old savings to that savings account and create a different account. So I guess my question, there's a couple of parts to my question. The first is that I sort of answered my own question, right? I need to have an account that I can use, either a debit card or something, to pay for inventory, because I don't want to be doing that through my personal accounts, right? Even if I'm taking the money out. Okay. So, so my issue is that unfortunately my bank is all online. They will not let me open a second. Well, I can open a second checking account attached to my current accounts, but I can't get a separate debit card. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll just open a business account, because that'll be separate. But I bank with Capital One, and their business accounts actually, yeah, their business accounts have to be opened in a branch, and we don't have any branches here in Southern California. So
Do you
I
have
am,
access to a credit union?
yes, my husband and I actually bank at a credit union. Do you think that's the way I should go in terms of opening the business account?
Um, well, for example, I have NASA Federal Credit. No, I have Navy Federal Credit Union, and I can open a. I've got like 6 checking accounts, a
Mm,
savings account, a money market account, and a Visa account, and they all have their own debit cards. But when I log in, I see them all, and I
mm.
can just transfer money.
Yeah, that's what I have going on right now with Capital One. I did call and talk to customer service yesterday, and the person I spoke to said that they're actually starting a pilot program to make it so that people like me can open additional accounts. But she actually wasn't even aware that, like, while I can open a secondary checking account, and she did say I might want to call back and talk to another agent just to be sure, but like she didn't know, well, if you open a second checking account that you don't get another debit card. Because I said to the first, person I spoke to, she was like, yeah, you just have to, go in and turn it on and off. And I'm like, I'm not going to go to a store and be like, okay, hold on, I got to like turn off the debit card for this account, turn it on for another account. Like I just need a separate card.
Right.
So, do you think, I guess there's a secondary, well, and I guess this doesn't really solve the problem either. I was thinking, what if I open, like I have a credit card that I actually currently primarily use for those purchases, but I use it for other things because it has great like cash back, and mileage.
Right.
I'm wondering if it just makes sense for me to keep a savings account for business and just open a credit card and then use that credit card to make all the purchases and then use the savings account to pay off the credit card each month. I just don't know. Like
Can you? Can you pay the credit card bill from the savings account?
I can currently, yes, because they're all linked. It's like what you're talking about. When I go to Capital One, I can
Mhm.
see all the accounts I have, and I can pay bills and transfer money between those accounts instantly, basically. Like even
Right.
when I pay my bill, it's applied like within 24 hours, and I can pay, it gives me the option to pay from any account that I have
Right.
with them. So I suppose that is something I could do. I would just have to open a second, because that credit card that I'm using right now, I'm using it for both business and personal.
Right.
Um, I suppose I could relegate that one to business and open a second one just for personal use. But the one thing I like about it is that I have all the points accumulating in one place,
Right.
which if I opened a secondary account, I wouldn't be able to do.
It's gonna be
So
divided.
yeah. So this might be more, I'm just trying to figure out like every
Okay.
time I start to,
So you already know, got to keep that stuff separate.
Mhm.
So if you were to open up another uh, credit card, at least you're getting points. Whereas if you just opened up another checking account, you're not going to get them at all. So even though they're separated, at least you're getting them. So if you are, and I'm going to be very adamant about this. I'm not saying you, but just people that are listening. If you are diligent and disciplined about paying your card off every month, then by all means do the credit card and then pay it with, out of your earnings from that's in the technical savings account. The IRS doesn't care what kind of account it is,
Okay.
just that it's separate. Just that only business expenses are coming out of the business of what you're using as a business account.
Right. I mean, maybe because the thing is, I really like Capital One. Like, I kind of like don't want to move all my, because I know what you're saying about the credit union ad, but I really don't want to move all the accounts because I have like, I guess I think I have right now 4 accounts that are all linked on one platform, and it's easy to use. Their customer service is excellent, and the new account I just opened, the new savings account, is getting like over 3% in interest, which
Nice.
is quite high. So, I don't really want to move all the accounts. So I'm wondering, maybe my best bet is to open a credit card, use that card for business purchases. And then when the pilot program, because she seemed to think that that was something that was going to be coming quite soon.
Okay.
And maybe when that starts, then it will be easier for me, and I can then open a debit card. I mean, a checking or debit card with, in conjunction with my other accounts. I
Right.
do also have to just see if, because the agent wasn't 100% sure that I couldn't open a business account if I went into one of the cafes, because we have those Capital One cafes, but we don't have an actual branch. But I know that like you can do pretty much everything at those cafes that you could do at a branch. So, and it's quite close to me. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just go over
Pop
there.
in.
Because they also have these teller machines in there that are like, it's like an ATM, except that you can get an actual teller that's like in a
Oh
remote
yeah, yeah,
location.
with the
Yeah, so I was wondering
video
maybe
camera.
that. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been in one of those places. I don't know
Yep.
who I was telling you about it, but it's pretty great. There's like a Pete's Coffee in there, and if you use your Capital One card, it's half price. It's free Wi-Fi. I used to go there all the time and just sit and work for hours, and it was great until like some weird guy kept hitting on me every time I was there. I was like, oh my God, wedding ring, and I'm busy. Like, leave me alone.
Got work to do. Go away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe I'll just do that. I hate to open more
I
credit
mean,
cards, but it might just be the
right. I mean, you're doing the thing. It's already done. So I wouldn't just open the credit card if the cafe place is pretty close to you.
okay.
I would just, if
Do
you,
that first.
yeah, go ahead. If it's within the next week or so, just go ahead and do that. Hopefully by the end of March, you will have
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I want to get this sorted out because I've been really good about like I haven't really been buying inventory. Like I've only made like 2 purchases since the start of the year. So because I'm working through my death pile, which is working out very well. Like I'm actually super excited, but so I haven't been making a lot of purchases. So, and I've been really good about like all the incoming money is going into that account. And then I leave in, a few $1,000s in that account and just remove the rest, for whatever. But like, um, I haven't had a lot going out because I haven't really, I mean, other than my normal, and that's the other thing. I was like all of my like memberships to like, for my bots and like all that other stuff is currently on the credit card because for that exact reason, because I was like, these are reoccurring. I might as well just get some points for them every month anyway.
Right.
But it's still not
Ideal.
super separate
Right.
and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really want to get it sorted out so that it is. I mean, it'll be easier for me too. So,
Right. I mean, you just like our liability is so little,
yeah.
so little, that I'm not generally worried about the separation, because that's really what it is. It's all about our liability, and if somebody was to come after us, to whether they would be able to hit our personal stuff or not. And if everything is separated, which is the very first requirement of an LLC anyway, you have to have everything separated.
It's less of an issue if you're a sole proprietor because they can come after your personal stuff anyway, even if you're a sole proprietor, even if it's separate. So like, but I see what you're saying.
If you are a sole prop and you do have everything separated, then at least you have some ground for keeping this, trying to, keep them away from your personal stuff. Look, everything is separated. This is just my business. And hopefully a court would, at least side with you for that. It's not legal separate, with the liability company, but it is the start. So, but again, our liability for reselling most of us clothing is so small that the biggest issue would probably be a company, and anybody that comes, tries to give us a Vero for something, we're really quick on taking it. Look, no harm, no foul. Took it down. It's gone. Won't do that again. Hook and loop. Gotcha. eBay won't even let us do that anymore. They automatically say, you can't do that. You can't put that in your title.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
used to we get a bureau for it. Now we can't even enter it, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's great for the newer people.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
I do have some additional questions, but if somebody else has questions, you can circle back to me if that's easier. I don't know. I don't want to hog all the time.
Let me just hit Dana's question in the chat right quick, which is, do you have a really beginner video of how to fill out the eBay number tracking page? I'm not exactly sure what numbers to put into the monthly section. How about we go through the questions? I think I went over it in the January video, but you watched that one. So apparently I need to do a little bit better job of that. Also, in my 9/30 2021 call, in the group, there's a basic video, but I can do that in here. We'll hit some of these questions and then we'll do a quick run through of how to grab those numbers. Nancy.
I think Cindy had a question before me. I see it in the chat.
Oh. Oh, there. I sold some items to another reseller. How do I account for them? The same way you account for anything that you would for eBay. So since you're using the spreadsheet, the workbook, then you would put the income into one of the other revenue tabs.
Well, I haven't, because it's stuff that I bought, like some of it is inherited, some of it was my own. So I haven't even accounted for it yet because it was from like last year or the year before.
Okay, so if anything that was your own or inherited, so if it's your own, then the cost would be what you paid for it. And no, you don't have receipts, but just in your expenses, you would put in from my closet.
Okay.
Would be the vendor. You'd be cost of goods inventory from my closet, and then assign an amount to it. Maybe
I don't know that I have receipts for any of it because it was.
Well, that's what I said. You don't have to have receipts if it comes out of your personal closet. Also, for anything that was inherited, whatever the value was at the time that it was inherited, that's the value that you would assign to it. And again, just put that into your expenses. More than likely, that's going to be a loss unless it was,
And then
something.
Sorry, I'm getting my notebook. And then the shipping. See, I have it down. I have it onto like a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet. And some of it's been paid for, some of it hasn't. Like the shipping's been paid for. So that I'm going to put under
let's just use a real world example that I absolutely know about. The stuff that you sent to me and I paid you for, and I paid, if I paid for, which I didn't pay for
about
the
stuff
label.
I sent to Isaiah.
Okay.
So I have all those packages down on a spreadsheet. And then and that's the other thing. I saw your video about PayPal because I didn't realize, because like when I sent you or Mandy stuff, I've done it like as friends. So I didn't get charged a fee, or you didn't get charged a fee. But now, well, because you're my friend. I just sent it to you as a friend.
Right.
As a thank you, friend.
Right.
So, but then when I got paid or reimbursed for the shipping, it came back as a business transaction. So I got charged a fee.
Okay.
Where do I account for that fee?
So that is going to be, so if you watched my PayPal video.
Yeah, I saw that. I need to get a business account.
OMG. When I transferred over to PayPal Business, it's a beautiful thing. it looks like a bank now. It looks like when you log in, you see all your in stuff and you see all your out stuff, and you have all these different ways to accept payments and to send payments. The only thing is there's no way to do friends and family in the business account. So you have to have a separate account to do friends and family.
Okay.
Which, I mean, we have too many other options for that. So there's Venmo and Cash App and all the other stuff, right? So
Right.
I probably won't do a second PayPal account for that.
Okay.
But I am thrilled with switching over to the business account for PayPal, because it's just so much easier. I can see all of those things. They break it all down for you. They break down where you got the payments from and so on and so forth. So you're more easily able to account for it. And if you use the same account that you're currently using, when you switch, it switches your transactions.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't gone in and looked at the history. That was I spent 45 minutes on the phone with a lady from PayPal. I think she was getting a little tired of me, but she was great. she answered all the questions.
I was able to download from Pirate Ship, the transactions and everything.
Yeah, you can run a report in Pirate Ship, and it shows you every month what you spent.
So I was able to do that, but I don't know, is there a way that I can take it from there and put it onto your thing?
Yeah. So all you do, if you're using Pirate Ship, you don't need to be keeping track of all the different individual things, right? Shipping is just a month. You just go grab the number from Pirate Ship and put it in as expenses for the month.
Okay.
If you have the business account, you can kind of see where your stuff come from PayPal. But if not, then you just you either go in there and download your statement for the month, or you keep track of who paid what, which if you're not having that many transactions, it's not that hard to do.
Okay.
That was the reason why I switched, and I wish I had switched last year at the beginning of the year.
And then do I wait until I'm paid to actually account for it, or do I keep, because some of it I've been paid for, some of it I haven't been paid for. So the shipping I've been paid for, do I wait to put that in, or for the part I haven't been paid for, do I put it in now?
I would just go ahead and like today is the day to do everything for February. So, or if you're doing weekly, that's fine too. But once you get paid for it, make sure you put in the payment that you received, so it goes into your income.
Mm-hmm.
When you have paid the expense, make sure you get that expense put in. If you're waiting on money, then just keep track of what you're waiting on. You don't want to put anything in that you haven't received yet. But if somebody was to not pay you what they owed you, then you would be able to claim that in returns and allowances.
Okay.
So,
and the other question I had is, how I went and I had that surgery on that Wednesday? Well, I got a message from the insurance. They want to see all my income and all my expenses for February.
okay.
So I have to have this done yesterday.
Well, you couldn't get it done yesterday because you didn't have February's until today.
No,
but
they wanted it on the 21st. They wanted it February 21st.
You can't give them February stuff.
I know.
When February isn't over yet.
Tell them that.
Well, then only give them through February 21st.
I know. Yeah. So that's I'm gonna.
But either way,
yeah.
If you account for all of your income, and you make sure you put every single one of your expenses on there. Okay. And because it's going Um, don't forget your eBay seller fees. I need to sneeze.
Gesundheit.
Thanks. Don't forget your eBay seller fees. Don't forget your utilities. You put all of that stuff on there, and I can, where you would use the home expense calculator.
Yeah.
What you're going to want to do is take the amount that would be for February and subtract that out from what you would owe for February.
Okay.
Or what against your profit for February. So you want to account for all of the stuff.
Yeah.
You want to make
Okay.
sure that you've got everything that your business can account for. And because you're not using a 1099, you have to subtract the sales tax as well
Okay.
from eBay.
Okie doke. Okay. I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go knock that out while we're in here. And
I'm going to set up another meeting with you. I'm
Okay.
going to call them today and tell them. I already told them I was meeting with the accountant, that I didn't have it all. They're like, well, your March benefits are depending on it. I'm like, well, I can't give you what I don't have. So we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be working on that though. Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome. Nancy, you're muted.
Yep, I just figured that out. So I'm working, well, in the big picture, I'm working on 3 businesses, as you know. So I'm going to need the worksheet times 2.
Just make a copy.
How do I do that?
Just save as a different name.
Oh,
Or go
okay.
download a new version and name it something different.
Okay, I see. Save as. Okay, got it. I will do that. And I think I need to watch your the video again. I mean, just your tutorial on how to enter everything in here, because it's been a while, and to be honest, I forgot. And I was dealing with 2022 up until about an hour ago, right?
Hey, it's March 1st. That was your
But,
deadline.
here I am. I'm ready.
Yay.
I'm it's I'm intending to be successful for 2023, but I've got to do January and February. So
Well, I was gonna reach out to you later, but now I don't have to. You said your 2022 is in.
I did it. Yes. I did.
Yay.
Yeah. It was a whirlwind, and I won't go through that again. So that's why
Okay.
I'm here today, trying to make it
So
right.
how about because I'm sure Dana's got more questions in the
Yes.
chat. So how about I kind of go over this a little bit again? I did do an overview in January, but it doesn't hurt to do it again for those that are watching. So I will share my screen and we'll just kind of go through the different pages. And if you have any questions while I'm going through, just ask. Dana, do you want to jump into the if you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to, but that way you can ask any questions about the workbook while I'm going through it. Anyway, up to you. The link's above. All right, so share screen and okay. Everybody sees that, no problem. All right, so the very first tab is instructions that nobody reads. Who reads instructions? Nobody reads instructions, right? The next tab is yearly changes. This is where I make the adjustments every year. So ignore this tab, other than it's a very easy way to familiarize yourself with the different categories that are on the Schedule C. So even if you are an LLC and you're not using a Schedule C, maybe you're a partnership or something and it's going to a Schedule E, that's fine too. You still have the same, no matter how your company is, you still have the same sort of expenses, the same names and the same guidelines for your expenses. So next tab is the cost of goods calculator. If you're downloading, there's Dana. Welcome, Dana. Yeah, she did the camera too. Yay.
Hi.
Hi. So,
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I see. Oh, the mute button. So got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hang on, let me shut that. Okay. Turned off my Facebook Messenger. So month, whether you're not, it doesn't really matter now because it was when I had the pivot table over to the side, but like I said in the beginning of the call, it was not calculating properly. So I just deleted it and put this is the way it was before. So if you had last year's workbook, then this is the way it looked then. Just the totals at the very top of the screen, and there's your average. So how much you use this, how much information you put in here, none of this information is needed in order to give you your running average. If you want to keep track of some of this stuff, then that's fine. If you want to put all your expenses into all your inventory expenses into the expense sheet and then put one total in here for each month, that would be fine too. This is for you to help you make sure that you're not overspending when you're making your purchases. And it gives you an average. So like if you're in the group, then you know Tech, he pays $4 across the board. Everything that comes in is $4 a piece. Whereas most of the rest of us pay different amounts. And it gives us the ability, when we can buy things that cost less, then it gives us the ability to buy some things that cost more. So because our average, we can still get our average around the same amount. And then it helps when we are pricing things and figuring out how much money to put aside for inventory, things like that. So we will get to that in a few minutes. Expenses. This part is really important that you get all the information entered. Your date, your category. If you're in the category box, there's a little arrow right here to the side. Everybody sees that. You drop down and then you scroll up and down and pick the category that you need to pick. So we'll talk about these cost of goods for a minute. Cost of goods, inventory purchases. All of your inventory purchases goes there. Any materials or supplies that it takes to get your item from you to the customer goes in the cost of goods sold, materials and supplies. Any other kind of supplies, consumables that you have in your office setting would go under regular supplies. And then cost of goods sold, other costs, that's going to be like your eBay fees, your pirate ship shipping fees, things like that, your Poshmark fees. Real quick, Mandy asked a question in the chat. If you have bought a previous version of the workbook in 2022 and you downloaded it from Gumroad, then go into Gumroad and either put your email address in that you would have used and do forgot password, or go in and make an account with the email address that you would have used. And when you do, the new version will be in your library. If you have any issues with that, or you did not migrate over, you bought it in 2022, but you didn't migrate over when I sent everybody the email in June, then reach out to me and I will help you then. But if you did get the download, either forgot password or make an account, it's in the library.
Cheryl, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
And I might have missed this while you were going over it, but you have that section for cost of goods inventory. Does that mean that we take just the month total and put it in here, or do we go back and redo you know, everything that we did in the average cost of good calculator and stick it in here?
Okay, so that's what I was talking about, and when we were in the calculator part.
Okay.
The calculator part is the one that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So if you put when you put all of your receipts in here for the month, if you want to take this total and put it over into the cost of goods calculator with the
got
number
it.
of items purchased, that's fine. But keep this one individual. And the cost of goods calculator, you don't have to put in all of this stuff. Just the number of items and the total that you paid for it.
Oh, okay, great. And then, so I'm really familiar with Google Sheets and not familiar with Excel. Can I go to the average cost of goods calculator and just copy that and then just paste it in? Or is it going to mess up the formulas and stuff? It might mess up the formulas, right?
Paste it in from, wait, you aren't using this in Google Sheets, are you?
No, I'm using the online version of Microsoft Excel.
Good. Perfect. Yes.
And so I did all my stuff in the average cost of goods calculator. So I was wondering if I can just, you know, copy all that and then just put it into the expenses.
Okay, just for like January and February?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then just for January and February, go ahead and put your total over there into your expenses. You've got the information in the cost of goods calculator. It's not like you're not doing it.
Okay.
But from this point forward, do it the other way around.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Cost of goods section. Other costs, we talked about that. That's like eBay fees, Poshmark fees, etc. Other miscellaneous expenses. Continuing education, that would be like the reseller group, for example. Hey, Marcus, welcome. We got Dixon's Pickens in the house. The itemized category, if it doesn't fit anywhere else in this section, then put it into this other miscellaneous expense part 5 itemized category, and then make sure that you put the why or the what. So if it's a subscription, for example, maybe it's a YouTube subscription because you do a lot of education on here. Maybe it's an Audible subscription because you do a lot of business books from Audible. So that would be what you would be looking for, a few different kinds of subscriptions that you could put into there. Utilities, because our businesses are run completely online, we must have our cell phone and we must have our internet. So 100% of your cell phone, 100% of your internet can go into utilities. Any other household expenses, put those into the home office calculator, and we will talk about that in a minute. I'm not going to go through all of these. I just wanted to hit a couple of the bigger ones. Legal and professional services. So if you bought my workbook, that goes there. If you talk to me, consulting, whatever, that goes in there. Supplies, those are consumables, like your pens, your pen. Where's my camera? Your pens. Your pens, your paper, your ink, your calendar, your desktop tape, anything that you're using that is not getting your item from you to your customer goes into supplies. Interest. If you have a credit card that you don't pay off or a business loan that you don't pay off every month, you can claim that interest. That's where you put it. Just the interest. That's where you put it. Advertising. If you were in the last call in the group, then you know that I said go get a sticker for your car, some type of advertising for your car, and you can take much more of the miles. If you have one car, don't try and take 100% of the miles. I mean, it's just don't. It's going to be questioned more. If you have more than one car, then you could attribute at least one car 100% of the miles, and the other one you could attribute 90. Say. If you're going to do that with the sticker, then maybe you consider keeping track of all of your vehicle expenses. If you do that, you still have to keep track of all your miles, regardless of how you do it. You have to keep track of your miles, and it has to be written. But being the fact that we'll be able to capture more of a larger percentage of the miles that we're driving by having advertising on there, or by being really, really diligent about where we're going, and that every trip we take away from the house is going to be business. Maybe it makes more sense to take your actual vehicle expenses. So the only way that we're going to know is if you keep track of them. That's up to you. If you do keep track of them, then it's all of them. It's all of your gas. It's all of the maintenance. It's car washes. It's tires. It's oil changes. It's tolls. It's parking. It's the entire enchilada. Now I want tacos. Is it Tuesday? Margaritas. Now we're talking. All right. Contract labor. So if you have someone coming in to do work for you within your business, then if you pay them $600 or more, we're going to have to do a 1099. Just keep that in mind. Otherwise, anyway, they're going to go under contract labor. So that's just a quick overview of some of the more important categories that you will use in expenses. We will touch on mileage again. So mileage, here is where you get to write all your mileage down. Most of us go to the post office 6 days a week. So I've got post office in there 6 times. You can copy and paste that down and add any other destinations. Round trip. It's always round trip. So from your home out to the furthest business point and back. If you get out to the furthest business point and you go further, and it's not business, then you can't count those extra miles, but you can still count the miles to the furthest business point and home. Always don't forget to get your January 1st odometer reading, or the first day that you start your business. If you didn't get those, then maybe use your last oil change. If you got your oil change professionally done, or some other kind of service to your vehicle, or maybe what's the other thing? Emissions test, inspection. Most of those things have your mileage at that time, and then you can use your receipts to go back or forward, whatever you need to do to adjust that number if you didn't grab it when you should have. This is built for up to 4 vehicles. So far, I have not had anybody that has 4 vehicles, but I have had multiple people with 3. So if you need a 5th one, just let me know. And then everybody will get 5. But for now, we're at 4. I haven't seen anybody need 4 yet. Total snapshots. So one of the questions that Dawn had was, where do I put Poshmark sales? So this is built to have up to 6 forms of revenue. I've got eBay in spot 1 because most of us are doing eBay. Obviously, not all of us are doing eBay. If you're not doing eBay, if you're never going to do eBay, then just type over it. So eBay, you can just type over these. If you want to have Poshmark here, excuse my, yeah, there we go. Say Macari. Who wants to do Macari? They're horrible. Shopify. How will we do Shopify in here? And maybe Etsy. Oh,
Amazon.
okay, Amazon. I was going to do Facebook Marketplace. I like Amazon better. All right, so if you need more than 6, again, let me know. I'm happy to add more for you.
I have a quick question about this,
Okay.
which is actually one of the questions that I had, but since you're talking about it right now, so I have a couple of problems. One is that some of the platforms that I have used do not give me a gross number. They only give me like the number they paid to me. So I'm wondering like how and where
Which platforms?
Well, one of the problems, as you know, I'm still working on my I sold on Tradesy in 2021, and Tradesy does not didn't give you the ability to run a report. So all I had were the net numbers, and now Tradesy is no more. So I have no way to even go back and look, because all I have are the numbers that came to me. In fact, I'm going to probably have a bit of an issue for 2022 because I sold slightly more, but I can't
And
run
they
any
didn't 1099 you?
No, because I didn't sell enough for that. I don't know. I mean, my guess is they're still working on the 20,000 threshold. Well, they're defunct now, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, I can go back and look at I don't even have a record other than the emails that I received with the,
Just shoot me a message about that one, and we'll discuss that one.
Okay.
We'll get
But on this form,
Uh-huh.
gross numbers is including the platform fees and shipping and all of that, right?
Right. And in the case of eBay, just so everybody knows, well, in the case of all of them, we're taking the gross numbers right now through the year. And the gross definitely includes the sales tax that the platform collected. So it's giving us a bit of a cushion when we're keeping track of our numbers, but we're going to use the 1099 that we get at the end of the year. So if we don't get a 1099 for that platform, we just have to remember to go back and take out the sales tax that platform collected, and reduce that from our gross, or just add it in as an expense. Either way would be fine.
Well, and then there's that issue with the Poshmark 1099s, right? They didn't take out canceled transactions.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to.
I didn't do a video on that, did I?
No, and I know I was gonna ask you because I know you sent me a tracking form that was gonna be to test just for Poshmark, and I'm not sure. I can locate it. My husband took that computer away for some maintenance. I might have saved it to that computer. So if you want to send that to me again, that would be
Okay.
great. But like, I know that when I can either run a report from Poshmark that shows the whole breakdown, like, or if I go into the Closet Insights, it'll show like the total sale, but without the tax, just the total sale. And then you can see what they call gross is just like the sale, like the price of the item. It's not the price of the item plus tax and shipping. It's just the price of the item. And then they have availability to see like basically what you're going to get paid. So like, for example, I did $200 so far today. So that,
I didn't do
report-
$200 for the 2 months of this year.
well, so I've
I
done
just happened to run the report this morning.
yeah.
Whoops.
Well, the report gives you everything, although I just discovered that their totals on that report are all in the wrong column. They're shifted over one.
Right. The totals are all shifted one over.
I was like,
Yep.
what? I don't understand how all these zeros equal $62,000. That doesn't make any sense. And then I realized they were all shifted over one. But like, so they need to fix that. But also like, so that one's nice because it has all the breakdown. But if you want to just see your numbers, I mean, you can run that report just for February. I just went in because I was looking to see how they were breaking it down in the Closet Insights, like on the actual app. And Closet Insights just shows total the customer paid for the item only, and then it shows the amount that you're going to get paid. So like that includes, I think, any shipping discount you may have given. So like I just looked at it real quick because I didn't know how they're not clear about what the numbers are coming from. So it was $200 total sales, $157.98 net earnings. So like that's what you're going to get like in your account. But like if I gave a shipping
sounds like
discount,
the $200. That sounds like your selling price.
yes, correct.
Less any shipping discounts, and then so it would have
the 200 is just the cost of the item. So like if the item was, just for ease of this example, if the item costs $200, then it just shows $200, and in the net earnings, it's showing the $200 minus the 20% platform fee minus any shipping discounts you might have given. So like if you're sending offers and you have to give a shipping discount, that's included in there. So that's how they get from 200 to 157, but there's no tax or actual shipping paid in that number.
Right. All of that is available on that download, on the CSV download, which I find easier to wrap my head around.
Yeah, I just wanted to look because sometimes I just want to see it at a glance, kind of like how eBay does the rolling 90 days, and that's why I picked it up. But like, but
just remember that part is just a tool. That part is not for your bookkeeping to help you with that, with your bookkeeping. Yeah. It's just a tool to help you stay on track where you're at. But I would definitely use the report, downloadable report for adding the numbers to your.
Also, just real quick, since I have you, so I was in the average cost of goods page. It's not totaling my numbers correctly for that for the right side. And I don't know.
Right. Which I deleted that stupid thing. So if you, that's what I was talking about. It wasn't working properly. Yeah. So I deleted that and put all the totals at the top, but you have the original. So if you want to reach out to me and I will just fix yours. Okay. Or you can go download a new one and copy and paste your stuff over, whichever one you want to do. It's
okay.
Up to you.
Talk after. Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I lost my train of thought. But anyway, there's 6 separate forms of revenue in here. Dana, are you good on putting your income in here? I mean, Rachel just kind of pretty much, we just had the discussion about the Poshmark income and stuff. So maybe you are.
Yeah. I'm okay with this part. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Alrighty. So eBay number tracking. This one is specifically for eBay. I am working on a one that will encompass more than just eBay, but for right now, I only have this one in here for eBay. If you want to use this for other ones, you just have to total your numbers and put them in there. But for eBay, enter your average. Now there's a weekly section and then there's the monthly section. They cover the same information. Once you get to a certain point, you kind of realize that maybe you don't need to look at it week over week over week anymore, and that month over month is enough. So if you get to that point, that's fine. If you don't want to use the weekly, that's fine. I don't use the weekly anymore. Month over month is good enough for me, but it's up to you which one you want to use. I'm going to go over both sections. It's the same information. It's just 2 different time periods. So the weekly, it starts out, the very first column is only 1 day. So if you look at this very top row up here, it tells you how many days in it. It runs from Monday to Sunday. So January 1st was a Monday. Nope, I'm sorry. It runs from, yes, it runs from Monday to Sunday. And January 1st was the end of the week. So it's a Sunday. That was the end of the first week. Then the next is the first full week. And that will it'll run a full week all the way through to the end of the year. So let's see, enter average cost of goods. We talked about getting your average cost of goods. Just do a running total. You don't have to do by week or by month. Just the running, whatever is in there at that point is fine. So if you have a $4 average cost of goods, then you just put $4 up top. And if it changes and it goes up to $6 1 week or 1 month, fine. If it goes up, if it goes back down, if it goes back up, whatever, you just put in whatever it is at that point in time when you were going to pull your numbers for this. Same goes down here for average cost of goods for each month. Whatever the number is when you go to put the numbers in, whatever your average is when you go to put the numbers in is what it will be. Listed. You have to keep track of your listed yourself. So, for example, I have a calendar book in front of me, and every day in there, I write how many I did, however many I listed that day. I have a goal that I want to hit, and then I try to go over top of that and put some in drafts or something like that. But however many I actually listed and went live on the platform is however many that I am putting into the listed. Sold, that we get from eBay. Sales we get from eBay. eBay net, outside ship. So you go to your performance and sales tab, and trying to decide whether I want to share that. But if you go to performance and sales, and I will change, let me see, how do I, all right, so I got to represent, share screen. Okay, so you go to performance and sales, and then you run it for, and you run it for the last week, or you run it for last month, or whatever. I just did it for today. So the total sales, that's the gross that you put in where it says sold. Well, okay, where it says sold, you're going to put in the quantity. where it says sales, you put in this total sales number. So in this case, I've got 10 listed, 1 sold, what was it, 1941. Oh, just took a minute. And then net, net sales is a negative $2.76. All right, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to do, how about, I don't know. Yeah, that's the same, going to be the same number. Anyway, we'll just do net sales is, in this case, is a negative $2.76. I paid for my shipping. That's where that went. And then outside ship would be anything like pirate ship. So my numbers for this particular day look pretty bad, right? But that's where you get them from. That's my whole point. I do tend to share my numbers within the group. It's not as public as this is. So if you want to see this again tomorrow, where to get your numbers from, I'll tell you to go watch the 9:30:21 video that's in the group. But I mean, I will share this again in the group tomorrow if you want to. I just don't talk about the workbook. I will talk about how you get your numbers. So you want to look at your total sales, your selling costs. This is where you get your numbers. Dana, this is where you get your eBay selling fees. So that's the one number that you want to take every month and put into your expenses, is the selling cost number right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good to know. Okay.
A little bit further down on the same page, you can see shipping and handling. This is what was charged to the customer. And this is what got paid by me for the label. So further down on this page, you can put in what the total for that eBay charged. So in this case, it was, what was it, $4.50, and then buyer paid $6.50, and then you can see that you made a couple dollars on shipping. No, it does not account for like the fees and stuff, but the fees are accounted for in the above section. We're just trying to make sure that we are not losing money on shipping. So that's the basics of this. Oh, the returns, that's just for you to keep track. If you want to keep track, you don't need to keep track of returns. And total listings, the way I do it is whatever your total listings were at the end of that period of time that eBay says you have listed and available for sale, I just plug that number in and it gives you a return on investment. And so it just helps you to, like I said, keep track. And it's really, really nice, especially when you do the month over month ones, to watch your listings grow, to watch your sales grow, to, you know, to see maybe your average sale price go up, your average net go up. Now, let's talk real quick about average cost of goods, budgeting, and how this kind of works together. So by keeping your average cost of goods, say that you have a $4 average cost of goods, and your goal is to list 10 a day. So that means you need to list 300 pieces a month. That means that you need 300. Whoops. Hold on. number 300. Fix a few of these number and 300 items and at $4 a piece. So you're going to need $1,200 to just replace the amount that you want to list. So if you want to list 300 items for the month of March, or in this case, there's 31 days, so 310 items, you're going to need what, $1,240 just to buy the inventory that you need for the month. That's if you're, not like some of us and kind of hoarding a whole lot of inventory. So some of us don't
I don't
need
know what you're talking about.
Me either. I'm like living one item to the next. I have to go all the time, right? No. Said I never. But it helps you to budget, right? So if you don't have enough money coming in to take that $1,200 or $1,240 off the top of your sales to go buy your next month's worth of inventory, then you need to rethink your listing goal. Because we don't want you we don't want you to borrow money if you don't need to borrow money. The whole goal is to take the money from the business, put it back into the business as much as possible, as long as possible, until your store is paying for all of its expenses and then paying you. But just keep that in mind. That will help you doing your average cost of goods and knowing what your listing goal is will help you budget for your next month's worth of inventory. If you start getting cash strapped, but you have a bunch of inventory, then sit your butt at the house and don't spend any money. Welcome, Green-Eyed Moose. Bryce and Brittany in the house. And I don't know about the end of it. I don't know how much longer we're going. But up above is a link if you want to join into the live stream. Up to you. Let's see. All right. So are there any more questions about the eBay number tracking page?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
So I'm not really focusing on the weeks. I'm focusing on the months.
Perfect.
And so if you scroll down, there's that eBay shipping section.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I don't know where to find the eBay shipping costs to plug into, January and February.
All right. So I was just showing you that. We'll
I'm
swap
sorry.
back over. And if you are on the same page, right? So performance and sales,
Yeah.
that's where you're at.
Yep.
And you've got this part at the top. You scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Okay. So where you see these two sections gives you the shipping.
Oh.
So right here, shipping and handling,
Uh-huh.
that's what the customer paid. So that's the second box down.
Oh, wait, I'm just trying to find that section. Sorry. Oh, selling costs and sales by buyer insight. Oh, I guess I'm just not seeing this section. All sales. So what is this, the thing that you're showing? What is the title of those two boxes that you're showing? The 1941.
All right. So buyer paid is the first section you get to, and eBay shipping is what you paid. Right? So buyer paid is this number. shipping and handling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just scrolling. It's not the buyer insights. It's not sales by category. It's not all.
Yes,
It is all
that's it
sales.
right there. All sales, total sales, that's it.
Oh,
Item sales, shipping and handling.
oh, got it. Okay, okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. All
I
right.
wasn't
So
seeing
that's
that.
the amount that the buyer paid. That's the second box down on the or actually the third box down on the workbook.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm talking about? You see it? Whoops.
Going back.
That would be this box right here.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And then the next section down under selling costs, the breakdown right there. So shipping labels.
Oh, okay. Okay. Selling cost. Okay.
You see it?
Yes. Awesome.
Okay. And so then that would go in this box here, this eBay shipping box right there. And then you would be able, the difference down here shows you whether or not you are doing your shipping properly. Because if you
Oh,
are not doing your shipping properly, then that's going to be negative. So long as you break even or you have a positive number, then your shipping is fine. You're doing well.
cool. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then this box in the middle tells you what your average shipping cost is. So it's
Oh,
based on the total number, that way you can kind of, maybe you can, if you're making a bunch of money on shipping, then maybe you can finesse your shipping policy a little bit so that you give the buyer a better deal on shipping, and which will boost you in the search results.
Yeah. Yeah, because the DIF amount is $120.70.
Okay.
So that means I'm
You made, yep.
making that amount on shipping.
Yes.
Is that a lot?
No.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to be greedy,
Right. Mine runs closer to, I think I'm a little bit less than that right now. I used to run more than that. I was doing pretty good on shipping, but I lowered my prices a little bit. So I'm charging $4.50. Now you have to realize almost everything that I sell is first class, and it's almost all under 8 ounces. So
Nice.
the majority of my shipping is $4.50.
Got it.
Is
Okay.
what I'm charging, and the majority of what I'm paying is under $4. So I'm still making some money on shipping, but I'm making less than I was before.
This is
But I'm also, my sales are more steady too.
This is so interesting to see this information. So yeah.
And all of the information, all of this stuff obviously is available right there on eBay, right?
Yeah.
The key to what this helps you do is to see it week to week to week and month to month to month, so that when you make those little changes, you change what you're doing for a coupon or a sale or something like that. When you make those little tweaks, your promoted listings, you see that difference from one month to the next. And in the group, we teach you to not make those changes on a regular basis. You implement them, and then you let it ride.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that you change it is if everything takes a nosedive for some reason, then you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this, and you back up and go back to what you were doing. For example, a lot of people in the group use coupons. For me,
Mhm.
in my store, it just hasn't worked well for me. So I do a 20% sale across the board. My items go up, and within a few hours, they are on sale, and I don't send out a coupon. But I am aggressive with my offers. I mean, I'm willing to take offers. I'm willing to send offers. I send offers every time as soon as one comes up, unless obviously I'm doing like this, because I'm not checking my offers right now.
Right.
But what works for you, you have to figure out what works for you and what works for the items that you're selling. I am, with the niche that I'm in, I have to wait for the buyer that wants that size of that item. It's not something that a sale or an extra coupon or an extra 50% off. It's much more specific. And we talk about my niche in the group more so than I mean, obviously my stuff is available. It's all in my link tree. If you go to my link tree and you go to my store, you're going to see what I sell, but you're going to have to do the work. But my stuff, like I said, my stuff is not really a coupon oriented type thing. It's more of a, that's the one I need for me, because that fits my size and my style and everything. So it's just I've niched down to that point. Whereas, like, if it was a women's shirt, I might be able to wear a large or an extra large, and so a coupon might help me decide to go ahead and buy it,
Mm-hmm.
when I see something like that. Cool. So again, it goes back to what you're doing, what you're selling, what your store is about, whether you're niche down or not. And the further down you niche, the more you understand your customers and what they're looking for.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any more questions about this one? All right, so home office expense calculator. Over here on the left, put in your total square foot of your home. If you have a garage that you are using, if you have a garage and you're using even the tiniest piece of it, put in the entire square footage of your garage. Then down here, it's the total square foot of the business space used inside your home. And because of what most of us that are here are doing, when you have sales, when you have inventory and or sales marketing materials that you store within your home, you can take whatever square footage of space those items are using. So for example, this office, the space that I'm in, is completely business. But maybe just outside of my office, I have some totes sitting there, and they always sit there because I regularly transfer inventory through them. I would be able to take the square footage that those totes are sitting in, even though the whole room is not office. So someone that, like, if I was only doing the accounting side of my business, for example, then all of my office space would have to be complete office space. If I was using half of a guest room, I wouldn't be able to take half of the guest room. If my office was shared with a guest bed, then I wouldn't be able to take any of it. But because of what the nature of our business with reselling, we can take the floor space that is being used by the office or by our business. even if we can't take the entire room. All right, so if you are using even a little piece of your garage, you are able to take the entire garage. So if you have a 500 square foot garage and you've got a tote sitting out there on a regular basis, then you can take the 500 square foot of your garage. It doesn't matter if you use part of it for other items. That's going to give you total square foot of business use, and then that's going to give you your business use of home percentage. Over here, there may be things that you have that I have not thought of. If there are, tell me, because if I haven't thought of them and somebody else has them too, then you'll be helping them out as well. So electric, water, gas, trash, if you have a house phone, home mortgage interest or rent, insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, any repairs or maintenance that is done to the house. If you have an alarm system, whether it be some regular security system or Ring or Nest or one of those, HOA fees. And if there's anything else you guys can think of, hit me up. I'll be happy to add it in here. But those are the only things that I could think of. And some of them I couldn't even think of when I first built the home office calculator. So you put in the total for each of those things for whenever you paid it. So if you pay electric every month, great. If you pay HOA fees once a year, put it in the month that it goes to.
What about the snow removal and lawn and maintenance?
It's a home expense, right?
Yeah, is that on there? I didn't.
No, it's not.
I
But
didn't know if it's something that can be. I would think snow removal would be included, but I didn't know if you have somebody cut the lawn, if that's included or not.
it's part of your home, and it's repairs and maintenance, actually.
Okay.
It's repairs and maintenance.
Okay.
Hey, Cheryl.
And that was a great question, Cindy, because I hadn't even repairs and maintenance is actually a newer category that I put on here. So I hadn't even really thought about the fact of maintenance and what maintenance means. So yeah.
So just to be clear, it's the total. Like, so if I pay, $100 a month for gas or whatever, I put the whole $100 in, and then this is going to calculate based on the percentage of the home that I use for my business.
Right.
Okay.
Because when we go to do the taxes, we want the total to put into the calculator.
Okay. And you said internet, we can write off the whole thing?
I write off 100% of the internet. The
Okay.
fact that technology has improved, because I'm from the dial-up days. So the fact that technology has improved, that multiple people can be on the internet at one time, that doesn't matter to me. The fact is, I 100% must have the internet in order to run my business.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting, for me, it's an interesting question because I know, I think I've mentioned to you, like the space I'm in right now is completely separate from my house. And I actually pay separate rent and separate utilities for this location, but it's attached to my house. And up until a couple weeks ago, we had internet in the house, and then I had an extender down here, and I was using the internet from, the main house. But a couple weeks ago, we switched, and I had them actually install the internet in this unit. So, because, my thing is that I need to have the best internet connection where I work.
Right.
So, and I didn't think about the fact that, like, okay, well, now it's still under my home address because I didn't use the address for this unit when I created the account. But, okay. Well, anyways,
But because of your situation, it's still your home. But
Well, I actually have two things. So I'm
Yes.
100% writing off everything from this unit. It's actually rented completely separately so that I could do that just on my business. But I do also use several rooms in the house for each of my businesses. So I take office in home as well for the actual house. So, but I'm going to write off 100% of because this is business only. It has its own rent and its own utilities, and it is 100%.
You have a separate business that you're using in your house.
Yes, but I do this business in my house as well because my photography setup and all my unlisted inventory is upstairs is in the main house. Because the house is 4 bedrooms, so 1 bedroom I'm using also 100% for my business, for this business, and then another room I'm using 100% for my other business. So I actually have 2 of the 4 bedrooms in the house 100% for business, other business.
There's a checkbox within the Schedule C that asks if you have a separate location that you mainly work from. But in your case, you are mainly working from your house.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind.
Then maybe I need to talk to you about how to,
I would treat the space that you're in right now as more like a storage unit.
Okay.
Which means you can take the deductions for that.
Mm-hmm.
But your main place of business, because of all the setup that you have inside the house, your main place of business is you actually do most of your work from inside of your house. Even though you have the space next door to your house that you are also using.
Okay. So it's more beneficial to just, I have a storage unit too, separately, but
and that's fine too. That's fine too. It's a matter of where you place the things on the on your tax form.
Okay.
And how you are accounting for your expenses.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is Cheryl, is there like a cap on the home amount, the home percentage amount?
Okay. There's no official cap, but there is, what's going to raise a red flag. And it's going to raise a red flag if you say that 90% of your house is business and you're only living in 10% of it. I mean, your kitchen's generally going to take up more room than that.
Right.
So, if you are legitimately using whatever the space is, then don't be scared of it.
Okay. Yeah, because
never be scared of the IRS.
Okay. I am a little scared of them, but okay. Yeah, because the total square foot of my business is about 200, but then if I include the garage, it's 300.
That's fine.
So that ends up being 42%, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of space.
Okay,
so I was just double checking.
I mean, I'm not afraid to say this on here. At some point in time in the future, I'm probably gonna build my own place somewhere. Most of what I want to do is going to be traveling in an RV, but at some point in time, I'm going to build a little place, and when I do, it's going to be a gigantic garage with a little bitty house, a little bitty efficiency apartment attached to it.
Cool.
And in the little bitty efficiency apartment, I'm going to have some office space. Or not efficiency apartment, but maybe a small 2-bedroom. One of them is an office, and the other bedroom, and then so there's going to be office space there. and then this gigantic garage that I can pull my RV into and have all the things inside of. And I get to take the whole garage.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's going to look really funky.
Yeah.
But
But it's
I'll be
accurate.
able to take a pretty big chunk. Unless they change the rules because they got this video.
Got it.
I'll be able to take a pretty good chunk in home office deduction once that happens.
Yep. Sounds great. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm like dreaming about, I'm going to have a hot tub in the garage. I'm gonna have yeah, it's going to be like a whole thing. My whole big RV is going to be in there. Yep.
Awesome.
All righty. All right. So I think that covers the workbook yet again.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, I don't mind doing that. If people have questions and they have questions, and I want to make sure everybody understands. And
Yeah,
I will say that there comes a time that maybe you're done. Maybe you're done. Like, you understand your numbers. All of your stuff is up to date. You don't want to handle it anymore because it doesn't make sense for you to handle it anymore, because you make more money passing off, whether it be house cleaning, whether it be accounting, whether it be cutting your lawn. There comes a time when it makes more sense for you to hand off those things so that you can spend more time actually making money in your business. So when it comes to accounting, taxes, any of the financial aspect, I have partnered with, she has a master's in accounting. She's going to be sitting for her CPA this year. I'm going to be sitting for my EA this year. We have a full service financial accounting business that can help anybody that is ready for that. But my goal is to make sure that you have a good, solid foundation before you get there. Because I don't want, whether it's you're handing it off to my partner and I, or whether you're handing it off to somebody else, I want to make sure that you guys understand all of the basics so that you can openly communicate with whomever it is that you're working with and not get taken advantage of. That's my big thing. I don't want anybody taken advantage of.
I have a nuts and bolts question. One more. Hopefully this is the last one. So it goes back to the workbook, and then you had your totals snapshot. Under the eBay section, it's all yellow. So I guess what happens is it populates, right? Automatically populates the figures. But my January figure is actually the amount of items sold that populated rather than the total, the gross. So I was just wondering what happened with that.
Okay. Hold on. I goofed. All right. So I goofed. You can do one of two things. You
Okay.
can either change this to hold on. This should be C. So this should be C30. If you just backspace and type in C30 at the end for January, it should correct it.
So go ahead and click on January.
Click on January.
Okay.
And go up to the top here.
Okay.
Click at the end.
Yep.
Backspace.
Oh, so remove those. Okay.
Yep. Remove. Back up to the exclamation point. Don't touch the exclamation point.
Okay. Got it.
C, capital C, 30.
C30. and
Hit
then
enter.
enter. There it is. It's magic. Oh, awesome.
All
Oh,
right. So anybody else watching with the double check if that's what your issue. If you have that issue, then sorry, I'm not perfect.
I just was
On
like,
record.
I got really overwhelmed when you were going through the eBay sheet, and now I don't remember what you said to put where. So I'm either gonna have to go back and watch this again, or like, because I'm on the eBay form, where it shows all of our transactions or whatever.
Mhm.
But like, I can't. I didn't retain what you said, what to enter where on the eBay tracking form.
Oh, okay. So are you doing weekly or monthly?
I think I'd probably just rather do monthly.
I agree. I
Um,
agree. Your business is far enough along that I think monthly is fine.
Yeah.
So you pull the numbers on eBay for the month.
Right.
You type in your average cost of goods, whatever that is.
Whatever it says on eBay to use that.
No, that's your
Average cost. Okay.
your
Yeah.
average cost of goods.
Okay.
You type in what you have calculated that you listed for the month.
Okay.
So if your goal is 10 a day and you listed 300 for the month, but you have to keep track of that separately.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See. Okay. Because I use Vendu, so
Okay.
but it's for all platforms. It doesn't show me. I don't know if I don't think I can get the analytics to show just per platform.
Well, or do but you do Vendu and it gets cross posted, right?
Yeah, and I cross post, I would say 99%, but there are a handful of things here and there that don't get cross posted for whatever reason. Like, for example, I can sell perfume on eBay, but I can't sell perfume on Poshmark. So I might list that on eBay and not on Poshmark. Or I might list like something I know that's a Vero problem on eBay. I might not list it on eBay. I might only list it on Poshmark. I don't have a lot of that happening because for the most part, everything goes on all three platforms that I'm using right now.
Okay.
I'm not picking and choosing. It's just that like if for some reason like an item cannot be sold on a certain platform for whatever reason, those are the ones that like, so the numbers are like if I just look at the total number, it's pretty accurate.
I would just use the total number and just take the total number from Vendu, whatever it was that you put into Vendu for the month to list.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll tell you that, right?
Yes, it tells me for the whole month. Like I can filter it however I want. So I can filter it for the month, and then it will tell me the number of items I created on Vendu for the month.
Okay. So long as the number of items that you created for the month actually got listed for the month, then I would just use that total number.
Okay. Like I don't see, and I may run into an issue with this when I start keeping a lot of drafts, because I was planning on keeping the drafts in Vendu until I eliminate Vendu, in which case that number is not going to be correct. But that's okay, because I could just go in and subtract the number of drafts from the total number to get the number that actually got live. Because Vendu keeps count like of created, and I don't right now. It's just a handful of things that for whatever reason I created but couldn't list because it was missing some information or whatever. But when I get into drafting ahead more, it might potentially be an issue.
I mean, I don't know how many you're listing, but
I'm doing 10 a day.
Okay, so I have a calendar.
Oh, you're saying to just handwrite? Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
I mean, and I just
I used to. I haven't been good about it lately because I've just been keeping track on Vendu, but I could just do that too. Yeah.
So yeah, what I do when I get up in the morning and I get to my computer, I write down, because I have this thing about my my feedback. So I write down what my feedback is that morning, and I write down how many total I have listed at that time. And then I just do plus and however many I list that day. And that's all. I don't keep track of how many I shipped or how many I sold or anything like that. because I'm kind of keeping track of that just by saying that today I had 1,710 listed when I got up this morning. Yesterday I had 1,696 listed when I got up in the morning. So, and I listed 16 or I listed 18. So, you know, the math is there. It just doesn't matter to me. It only that it's going up, you know, and I
Yeah.
keep track so I can put it in the
Well, and
spreadsheet.
you do on your form, that's the third line is for sold, right? So how many items sold?
Right. So that I get from eBay.
Okay.
And I'm doing per month as well. So I go in there, performance sales, I run it for the previous month, and I grab my how many I've sold.
So if your worksheet is set up for weeks,
No, the top part is set up for weeks. The part we're looking at right now is for months.
oh, the bottom. Oh, so I could just not use the top part and just use the
Right.
bottom, is what you're saying. Okay,
Yep.
got it. I see.
Which is what I do. I just don't use the top part. I did for a long time. I used the top part. It helped me to see what changes I was making. It helped me to see that I actually did my listings for the week. You know, and to make a mental note of, okay, I missed my listing goal on Wednesday. Why? What did I do on Wednesday? What happened? So that I could, you know, slowly make changes. It was huge for me in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't need the weekly one. If I want to know, if I want to know what I'm doing to that point, then I literally just go, I put in all the numbers for that point and I just go in and change this date to whatever day it is. So if I'm in February and it's the 21st of February, then I'm just going to change that to the 21st and put in all my numbers for the month. And then I'll know where I'm at that point. That's okay. That's probably
Yeah, that's too confusing.
sorry.
I have to just use I think I'll just use the bottom half then. So, okay. So then that's that the line that says eBay net sales, that's the line that says sales would be the total. So like
Right.
if I just pulled my report, total sales for, you know, this date to this date or whatever, that's what goes in there. Taxes and fees collected by eBay, selling costs would be
In this part, it's only sales. It's only the number furthest to the left and the number furthest to the right.
okay.
So the gross, the total sales, and the net. That's the only two numbers you're putting in here.
Oh,
into
okay.
this spreadsheet.
Got
The
it.
difference is the fees and the sales tax.
Right.
And then outside ship. If you use shipping outside of eBay, then you can plug that into there. Now, the one that you were talking about that I have a list here somewhere that I sent out to 6 people. I can resend that out to you. And that one was it's all the same information.
Just the numbers are
It's just spread out because you could do up to like 10 different platforms for
right.
each of the sections.
Okay.
So it's the same thing. You just have to find where those numbers are on your platform.
Right.
So
I mean, Poshmark is so simple compared to eBay because, you know, you don't pay for promotion. There's no like there's no additional costs other than like shipping and like because eBay covers, I mean, because Poshmark, you know, the customer pays for 90% of the shipping. It's like, I mean, there's less, we can't use outside shipping there. So that's not an option. You know, it's simpler. There's a lot less data.
when I was doing the lives, I did use some outside. I did do outside shipping.
You did? How did you get away with that?
I had to pay for it out of pocket. I wasn't paying them for it.
Oh, but see, the problem with doing that is then if you have a problem, they're going to wash their hands and say, you didn't use our shipping label. We're not going to help you.
I used their shipping label and then for one box, and then everything else that had to go into another box, I
Yeah,
bought my own shipping label for, but I also put all of that information into a message to she knew that that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I cleared that before I did it, but yeah.
It's just a gray area. Like if you ever, like that box doesn't arrive and the customer goes to Posh and says, my box didn't arrive, you know, that will be on you because they don't have a tracking number. They don't have, like, they can't prove that you ever shipped that box.
Well,
Like,
actually, the customer would have been the one that would be out because that person got the smaller box that I
right.
could do was with their label.
Yeah.
So up to 5 pounds went into the one box that ended up being the smaller of the two because she ordered a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of coats, so it was
Yeah.
bulky.
I mean, it would be nice
So
if they
it was
gave
showed delivered. It showed delivered.
Right.
But anyway, I'm just saying that I did.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. If I did it, I know I'm not the only one, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not really doing any lives anymore. So
Was it not lucrative or it just was too much work?
it's not neither one of those per se. It was just I got rid of the things that I really didn't want to list. And now all that I have left that I'm trying to get rid of is pajamas. So they seem to be harder to do in a live. When that's all you have, but that's all you're doing is pajamas, then because the other stuff I'm putting on eBay. So, and as far as like the jewelry stuff, any of the stuff that I'm not wanting to put on eBay would go on Whatnot. Again, it's not, I tried doing like necklaces and stuff on Posh and Alive and it didn't go anywhere. But it would do fine on Whatnot. I haven't even been doing, I haven't been doing it. I haven't done any lives since November. What? All right. Hi, Sally. Welcome if you're still here. I didn't see. Green Eye Moose, Bryce and Brittany. Let's see. Says, is writing down mileage and vehicle use on each receipt a good method, or do we also need to keep a logbook in each vehicle for mileage? We are tracking this budget. No, like we talked about the other day, the way that you guys are doing the mileage on your handwritten receipts is perfect. And it's more than I asked for, but it will definitely help you to enter your mileage in the sheet. Again, you just need the total miles for that day, furthest business point out and back. And your receipts. So I don't know. A lot of us end up kind of going to the same places over and over again. And we kind of have a route. So when we have a route, we kind of know that if we go to this particular 3 stores, then it's going to be a 60-mile round trip mileage. And so then we just put in the 60 miles in the 3 places. And then we're good. So whichever way, if you want to write it on the receipt, or you don't, like I said, you don't need like your odometer reading each day. You just need to write down the total miles out and back somewhere. So if you know what these 3 places were, or you just Google it when it comes time, and eventually you're just going to kind of know that when you did this trip, it was 50 miles. When you did that trip, it was 10 miles. So most of the time we don't go, unless you're doing a bunch of yard sales, which could be different, then you might need to keep a little closer eye on that day. All right. So I should have done this in the very beginning of the call, but announcement. My OLT walkthrough is going to be live as soon as YouTube finishes processing my edits. So I did the walkthrough yesterday, and this morning I sat down and figured out how to edit my first video.
Yay.
So I cut a few things out where I was hemming and hawing, or I showed my tax return by accident. So there's a couple little things that I cut out, but I think otherwise it went pretty smooth.
That's awesome.
I will be perfectly honest. You're probably going to get through it and go, yeah, I don't want to do this, because I actually got through it and went, I don't want to do this. I reached out to my partner, says, I don't want to do any more taxes this year. I'm done. But that's not, I mean, that was yesterday. I was exhausted. I'm exhausted today, and we still have the group accounting call tomorrow. So this week is kind of tough for me, but I will, those of you that I am doing taxes for, I will be back on that come Friday. And hopefully have everybody knocked out the first part of next week that is already on the books. So do we have any other questions?
I have one.
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I didn't know somebody else had one also.
Sorry. You're here. Go ahead.
I have one too, but you can go ahead.
When I'm doing the mortgage, instead of breaking it, do I have to break it up between principal, interest, or can I just put down the whole mortgage payment?
Oh, no, you can only put down interest. You can't put down your mortgage payment.
Okay, so it's just okay, because I know you had if there's mortgage
interest or rent.
Okay. You can put down the insurance though, can't you?
Yes.
If you're still paying that pity. Can you do the private mortgage insurance if you're not 20% in?
That's a good question that I do not currently have an answer to. Because you can't do your mortgage, you can do your interest, but that's insurance, right? That's mortgage insurance.
Right. Because, if you don't have 20% in on a conventional, you have to pay, we call it pity, private.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pity you have to pay. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will look into that. I will dig into that and get back with you, but because it's not a question I've had before. I don't want to tell you that you can and then and be wrong. So I would rather tell you that let me get back to you, and I will dig into it. Would be under home office expense. So whether or not you can take it or not would be in that information.
And
so
do we get to take our taxes? Do we get to deduct our home?
Not on your home office expense. A lot of that stuff is deductible in your
federal
itemized deduction. Well, we're talking about federal return, regardless.
Right.
But it would be deductible if you are itemizing your return or itemizing your expenses.
But not
unless you're itemizing your deductions, you get the standard, and for a lot of people, the standard is going to be higher than what they would itemize, even if they have a mortgage, unless unless you are paying tithes or paying more than 10% to a church or something like that, in which case you
No,
might benefit from itemizing.
I'm just trying to figure out for the monthly expenses. So our
Not for monthly, no.
yeah, and our mortgage or our homeowners insurance,
Homeowners, yes.
yes.
Mhm.
So homeowners, yes. We don't know about mortgage insurance. Interest, yes.
Yes.
Taxes, the homeowners taxes, no.
No.
Okay. Now in Indiana, you have to pay tax on the value of your vehicle. You pay an excise tax each year. Does
That would also be an itemized deduction if you're itemizing. So
but since the vehicle belongs to the business,
if the vehicle belongs to the business, then all of
that's
the
an
vehicles,
expense.
then all of the expenses for the vehicle can be
Be
deducted.
Okay. Okay. I think that's it.
Okay. Dana?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is an easy one. So in the expense tab, you mentioned eBay selling costs is an expense. And does it go under COG other costs?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So do we have any more questions? Dana's all done. Cindy took off. Dawn didn't have any. Rachel?
I always have questions, but I'm sure. Oh, let me see if there's anything else on my list that we didn't get to, because I did write them down. Let me see here.
And anybody that's listening, if you're in the group and we don't answer your questions today, jump on tomorrow in the group and we will cover them there too. So
I think I'm good for now. I mean, I have stuff, but I don't want to get into too much nitty gritty. I can ask you at a later date.
okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
gonna
Well,
pop
thank you all for participating today. I appreciate you. Since it doesn't look like we have any more questions, I'm gonna call it for today. So I hope everybody that came got their bookkeeping done, because like that's why I did this. That's why I do this. So if you didn't, finish it up. Shoot me a message. Tell me you're all done. That way, at least I can feel better about the time that I've spent, doing this. That at least I know that some people got their stuff done. And I will see you all in the group, or shoot me a message on YouTube if you are not in the group. I appreciate you all. Thanks for coming.